Are you stuck in a reading slump? Maybe you thought you were going to read more in 2026, but you just haven't done it yet. This video is going to be all about slump busters, books that can get you out of your reading slump and actually reading more consistently. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more of these videos. I'm always doing videos on books, recommendations, books that kind of seem like movies or video games, stuff that's kind of popular in pop culture at the moment. I give some recommendations that's in that same vein. I love to do that. I love to recommend books that I'm reading, books that I've read in the past, and I like to talk about what you guys are recommending to me. So be sure to subscribe to the channel for more of these book videos. Now let's jump into some slump busting books. First off, I'm going to recommend a book called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. So for those who don't know Ryan Holiday, he regards himself as this kind of modern philosopher. Really good writer. He is somebody who's written, I think, 4 or 5 books at this point. He's a YouTube channel also that is excellent, that frequently recommends books unto himself. Like he owns a bookstore somewhere in Texas, and this is a big passion of his as well. But The Obstacle is the Way sort of imparts Stoicism principles, first really brought into popular culture by Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations. And it's all about controlling what we can control and controlling our reaction to the things in our life. And it talks about how we can, it's sort of a self-development book, but really it's about reacting to the problems that we face and changing the way that we internalize the challenges we face in life. We cannot control so much in this world, so all we can try to do in these Stoicism principles is try to control our response to those inputs. And The Obstacle is the Way has a lot of really nice, fun anecdotes that allow people to like sort of synthesize these ideas in a very simple way, in a very concrete way. A lot of these books, these self-help, self-development books, are kind of garbage. Ryan Holiday's books are fun, quick reads, and they're very direct, and like the lessons themselves are age-old. They're not something that some guy just kind of came up with some new theory about. Ryan Holiday is teaching you things that people have been teaching for thousands of years, literally. So I highly recommend The Obstacle is the Way. It's a really quick read. If you want to listen to the audiobook, I think that one's also a pretty good, popular one as well. So it's a pretty easy slump buster if you're somebody who's looking for just a book to change the way you think, change the way that you're moving through the world. Next up, I'm going to recommend Dungeon Crawler Carl. This is a fiction book. It's about a gentleman who is pulled, the world ends, he's like a Marine, he's pulled into this dungeon-like live video game RPG world in which he is tasked with playing an RPG-like fight for survival before television audiences across the universe, and he must fight across Earth with his pet cat who receives the ability to speak as like a sidekick, and they have to survive through this hyper-violent, hyper-comedic sort of world. This book is kind of like, if you like it, you're gonna like it. If you don't like it off the bat, you may not like it. It is a lit RPG, as they say, so it's kind of all about these RPG elements. It was originally released, I think, episodically online, but it's a quick read. It's a fun read if you're able to sort of let go of the idea that it has to be fine literature. It's not like the great American novel by any means, and it's not the greatest science fiction I've ever read, but it's just a fun read. If you're somebody who's kind of been turned off by longer books or by really self-serious books, this book is perfect for you. Dungeon Crawler Carl is just, it scratches a lot of the itches that people frequently have scratched through like video games or a lot of like superhero or RPG-like television shows, like all that fantasy kind of storytelling. Dungeon Crawler Carl gets at a lot of that in a fun way, in a really accessible way, and that's why it's frequently recommended to people as a slump buster of a book. Next up for me, Open by Andre Agassi. This is an autobiography. It's probably, I mean, it's almost definitely the only biography I'll have on this list. First of all, this book is amazing. Probably the best autobiography I've ever read. It is so funny. It is so insightful. Andre Agassi is an incredible tennis player who I think he won the Grand Slam over the course of his career. He was not ever the most physically imposing player, but he's a player who I guess had this really high peak, kind of crashed out for a while and came back, and it chronicles his rise to fame, rise to prominence, as well as his crash out, as well as his comeback, as well as his extending his career past what he thought it could be. His tumultuous relationship with not just his family, with tennis, with the game itself that made him into the player, into the legendary tennis player that he became. I mean, the book opens up like he hates tennis, and the whole thing is that he doesn't like the game itself, and how despite that, he's able to accomplish such great things, and he has this adversarial relationship with the very thing that made him rich, made him famous, got him all these accolades. It's an incredibly interesting, incredibly insightful book. Also, it's very well written. The ghostwriter of this book is a Long Island legend, whose name is escaping me right now, but it's a phenomenal book. I highly recommend it if you're into sports, if you're somebody who's just into finding out what makes a guy like that tick, just somebody at the top of their game, it's phenomenal. Could not recommend enough. I know a lot of people have listened to the audiobook as well. People like that one as well. So, you know, if you're looking for something in that same vein, definitely check out Open by Andre Agassi. Next up, Slow Horses by Mick Herron. It's a spy novel. It has been made into a television show for Apple TV. Apple TV converts a lot of really quick, easy reads, I guess like genre fiction into television shows, and with good reason. This book is so funny, so well read. It's a series of books. There's been, I think, 9 so far. I've read all of them. They're amazing. I love them. They are very, very funny. I think the books in a lot of ways are funnier than the show even at times, which I highly recommend. If you're somebody who's just looking for kind of like a spy, not super serious book, but that still has those serious themes, it's not goofy. It's just comical in a serious world. It's not James Bond, but it is something unto itself, and I really love this series. So if you like spies, if you like action, if you like comedy, definitely check out Slow Horses. Next up, The Long Walk by Stephen King. I think it was technically by Richard Bachman, his pseudonym, in which he wrote a couple of action sort of different titles when he was the king of horror in the 80s. This book is about all these people, these kids who are living in this post-apocalyptic world in which every state puts forth a contestant to compete in what's called the Long Walk, which is a walk where these young men compete and walk until only one remains. They essentially, if they drop below 3 miles per hour, they are shot dead by the army, and you get a couple warnings, but if you do it, a lot of these kids are just dying on the road. It's a brutal book. Brutal, nihilistic book. Not super funny, very quick read, very light read, very dialogue heavy, this book. It's not like the descriptions are all over the place. It's not George R.R. Martin. If you like sort of action books, it's not a YA book. I mean, it's brutal. The violence is high level. They made this into a movie last year that I really, really enjoyed, and I think it's perfect for an adaptation because the book itself just moves so quickly. So highly recommend this book. If you like Stephen King, if you're looking for kind of a quicker action book, this one really scratches that itch. Next up, Pines by Blake Crouch. Blake Crouch has written a bunch of sci-fi books that have broken through in the popular culture over the last 10 to 15 years. And Pines is one of those that really hit. I think this was kind of his first big hit. It's about an FBI employee who wakes up from a car crash in this strange town. He doesn't know how he got there. He's trying to uncover the mystery of this town, Wayward Pines, and discover what's really going on here. And it's all about this small town mystery and the scope of this small town mystery and what nefarious forces may have killed his partner, what nefarious forces may have attempted to kill him, and who is hunting him in this world. Very cool story. I watched the show years ago. It was made into a television show with Matt Dillon on Fox. First season, excellent. The story itself, the book series, is also very good. I've only read the first one. I've heard that it is generally gets better throughout the series. I think it's 3 books in total, but the first book, very good. Highly recommend it. If you like these kind of mystery shows, it has a sci-fi element, but it's not super hard on the sci-fi. It's really more of a mystery, something akin to like a Lost, something akin to a lot of the HBO Sunday night dramas that you frequently see filling the schedule throughout the year. So it has a lot of that crossover. I think it would have made a great HBO show had they gone in that direction. Ultimately, they didn't, but highly recommend Pines by Blake Crouch. Next up, I'm going to give 2 nonfiction books. The first one is going to be The Psychopath Test by Jon Ronson. Jon Ronson, hilarious nonfiction writer who has written some truly unforgettable works of nonfiction. This is one of them. The Psychopath Test is all about the idea of like what makes a psychopath and the test to assess for a psychopath. And Ronson talks to people who have been diagnosed psychopaths. He talks to people who study psychopaths and tries to figure out like what is actually behind that designation. What is it that makes someone a psychopath? Are we among so many psychopaths in our everyday lives right now? Ronson tries to get to the bottom of this in his typical British humor way, and I think it works really well. It's one of my favorite nonfiction books of the last 20 years. It's one that really sticks with you, and it's just a very interesting topic. If you're not looking for a fiction book, if you're looking for something quicker nonfiction with an interesting idea, The Psychopath Test may be for you. It's also very funny and just an easier read if you are looking for something like that. Next up, American Kingpin by Nick Bilton. I freaking love this book. this is a nonfiction book that feels like a movie. It's all about the guy behind the dark web, where people were selling the Silk Road, where people were selling drugs and sex and prostitution, all sorts of stuff illegally on the internet. This guy was the man behind it all, and the FBI's plot to get him and ultimately capture him in that electrifying plot and how that all plays out. This was just some sort of loser burnout guy who almost accidentally becomes this massive kingpin who is at the top of the food chain in this illegal underground internet network of illegal nefarious actors. Amazing book. Really feels like a movie. One of those nonfiction books that just moves. So if that sounds good to you, if you're somebody who's interested in the internet crimes, if you're interested in kind of true crime stuff, this is a perfect book for you. So check out American Kingpin by Nick Bilton. My final book recommendation here as a slump buster is going to be Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. This is a book told from the first person perspective, so it's kind of a different style than a lot of these books, but it's about a gentleman who is in a famous movie, like a cult classic horror film years and years ago as a young person, in which he donned a mask, and it's all about his experience 20 plus years later. He was in this movie and someone involved in that production was killed, so the footage of that movie has now taken on a new sort of relevance, and he's now involved in the reboot of that film, and he's trying to, I mean, he doesn't have a real job, so he's trying to essentially facilitate that reboot. But people from his past, the story of what actually happened on the set of the original and the tortured production that ultimately led to someone's death is interspersed throughout this story. So you're kind of getting a historical telling of what happened then and this live in-person storytelling of what actually went on in the real present time. So Horror Story by Paul Tremblay, a fun book, a quick book. If you like horror movies, if you like sort of horror fiction, this one could be for you. All right, so these have been my 10 slump busters, quick, easy reads to get you back in the groove of reading. If you're somebody who likes fiction, I have some fiction recommendations here. If you're somebody who likes nonfiction, I have some quick and easy nonfiction books for you. I hope this list helps you here. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more book recommendations. Until later, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye now.